going to leave it to Chris and Dennis to introduce our topic for today, which is dealing with the gatekeeper, both really wonderful sales leaders and experts here at Overpass. So Dennis and Chris, take it away.
So I just want to tee up Chris a little bit. He's one of our newest additions to the Overpass team. And in my world, I always try to hire somebody that can replace me. So without further ado, I'm going to tee up Mr. Runnels, and he's going to talk to us about today's topic.
Awesome. Hey guys, my name is Chris Runnels. Very nice to see everybody on. Apologize for the visual effect here on the TV here. I was trying to have a little bit of fun, and we're going to go into the reasons why we want to have a little bit of fun on these calls with the gatekeepers. So without further ado here, let me share my screen. Let's see here. All right,
let me promote you to co-host, Chris, so you can go ahead and share. I know sometimes the sharing permissions are a little off, so you should be good to go now.
Okay, perfect. All right, let me share the screen. And all right, guys, bear with me here. All right, can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So, again, topic of the week, dealing with gatekeepers, the most fun that everybody always has is trying to get past that first initial point of contact when you call, also known as the gatekeeper. So think of it like a doctor's office where, if you've ever wanted to call your doctor's office and actually speak to your doctor directly, does that really happen? I mean, very rare. So usually it's the nurse or the receptionist or somebody that works in the office that answers that phone or fields that call first, kind of that, what do you want kind of attitude. And so hence the nickname Gatekeeper. So we're going to talk about a little bit in this training, some creative ways on how to become their friends and get past those gatekeepers. So here we go. Let's talk about why it's so important to get past that gatekeeper. So ultimately, your goal is to get to that decision maker for who you're calling. Okay, so if you're trying to get to Bob Smith, but you have to talk to Sally first, you don't really need to talk to Sally any longer than what you have to. Your goal is to get past Sally to get to Bob. So again, your goal is to get to that decision maker. In doing so, you want to build a relationship with that company, because ultimately, as you call more and more, hopefully you'll have, after meeting, in this example, Bob Smith, who's the decision maker, hopefully after meeting them, you'll obtain Bob's direct contact information so that you don't have to go through that gatekeeper process all over again. So what does it take to get past the gatekeeper? Okay, here we go. So the first item is be prepared. Don't call into a company, and especially to the one that has a gatekeeper, and not be prepared. That is never a good thing. And we're gonna break these down here in just a minute. But you also want to keep the call fun. You want to ask questions. And don't get nervous. Whatever you do not get nervous. Don't let them see you sweat. So let's break these down a little bit. We're going to talk about being prepared. So before you call any company that you're reaching out to, you want to have a chance to research that company. Okay, know a little bit about what they do, so that when you are talking to that gatekeeper, and even more importantly, when you talk to that decision maker, you sound intelligent. You sound like, okay, hey, you know what? You've taken the time to get to know me or the company that you're calling. Here's the biggest, probably the biggest piece of advice that we can give you. You were given 2 ears and 1 mouth. Okay, we've all had that expression. Don't just hear what they're saying. Listen to what they're saying. Speak less, listen more. A lot of times those gatekeepers will tell you how to get past them. You just have to sit back and listen. So, and if you want to even look at it like, talk to them like you're dating. So for a little bit, and I'm not saying, if you're in a relationship or something like that, I'm not trying to get you in trouble or anything like that. But, just think of it like you're dancing, or it doesn't have to be a chess game where, aha, I get, I'm beating you on strategy, and just have fun. Just like you're playing ping pong or tennis, just that back and forth conversation. Again, like you're dating, you're just trying to get to know them. You're trying to kind of get a feel of what their day to day is, so on and so forth. Keep the call fun. Think about their job, guys. If they're just, thank you for calling ABC Company. Thank you for calling ABC Company. I mean, they're getting 1,000 calls a day. You want to set yourself apart from every other person that's trying to get to that decision maker there at the company. So, get personal with them. I mean, within reason, like ask how their day is, right? People, and think about this, guys. When you ask a friend, family member, maybe a complete stranger, how their day is going, like when you say, hey, how's your day going? And they say, good, fine. No, really, how's your day going? Like how, or if they say good, cool, tell me what's good about it. Like truly get that, what's called second, third, fourth level questioning. Really get to know like who you're talking to, and by you showing that you truly care on how they're doing, or something that you're trying to show them truly about, that you're interested in them, they get you a lot further. Relating to their job, again, just imagine some person behind in a little cubicle or a desk or whatever. Try to relate to their job. Tell them, even be vocal about it. Say, God, I do not envy you. I do not. Oh my gosh, you have all these people that are calling you every single day, every single minute. My gosh, I mean, do you even get a break? I mean, try and sympathize with them, right? Like you're trying to get on their good side. So make them laugh and smile. Oh my gosh, that is whenever I'm talking to a gatekeeper, I do everything I possibly can do. I turn into a comedian, but a professional comedian. Try to make them laugh and smile. I mean, you do that, you've won a friend, right? Make them like you. Same kind of the same topic. Make them like you. Be likable. Don't be like, yes, may I please speak to Bob Smith? Whoa, hey, take it easy. Like you come in more as a threat if you come in that way, opposed to just making the conversation light. And just ultimately just be a good human. Show empathy, sympathy. Be empathetic. Try to really relate to what how their day is going, their particular situation, all that. Ask questions. So when you already have a line of questions before you even call, so that think about this, guys. When you're talking to a gatekeeper, their job is to get you off that call as quickly as they possibly can. Okay, now you may get lucky and you may have a chatty Cathy or somebody that actually wants to have a conversation with you because they're bored, or maybe they hit a slow point in their day and they're lonely, whatever. But odds are probably not. You're going to have somebody that's like, what do you want? Okay, yep, bye, got to go. It's that quick. So it's your job to be able to engage their interest and engage their attention, to keep them on the phone, again, going back to them liking you, but have questions already ready to go beforehand. Ask them questions like, hey, when I am able to talk to Bob Smith, like what's the next plan? What's the next part of the process? Here's the best news. If you are able to actually get past the gatekeeper right then and there, be ready to go. Don't say, oh, no, you're supposed to tell me no, and I'm supposed to call back tomorrow. No, that doesn't work. You have to be on your A game, like every single time. Already have your strategy and your next plan of attack for if that gate does open, to where that gatekeeper is allowing you to come in. Okay, so yeah, just be ready for that. Don't get nervous. Sound confident. I mean, we've all been in sales long enough to know, the classic saying, fake it until you make it. 90% of any conversation or trying to get past a gatekeeper, especially, is 90% of that is competence. The other 10% is really just you being, again, a good human and being that good salesperson that you are. So fake it until you make it, again, focus on the dance, focus on trying to become their friend. Don't let them see you sweat. I'll give extra bonus points if anybody knows what movie this picture is actually from, or can quote a line from that movie. I'm sure some of you are way too young to weren't even born in the same decade, but it's a great fun movie, if you can name it. So we'll be having a quiz at the end of all this.
Good job, Axel. Axel got it. Airplane.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, so that, at the end of the day, with dealing with gatekeepers, I mean, it's going to be hit or miss, try to take away something from every conversation that you have with them. So one gatekeeper is not going to be like the next. So if you see that you say something to one gatekeeper and you're like, hey, I got past this part, well, keep that and maybe use that towards the next gatekeeper that you encounter or that you interact with, because you may just get that far with that person too. So there you go, guys. Dennis, I'll pass it over to you, sir, unless you guys have anything else you want me to go over.
No, that was it.
Cool.
I think the biggest penalty of being a salesperson is we all started making that cold call. And none of us ever liked it. And yet here we are, right? And yet here we are. I think my first sales job, I was put in a little room with 42 desks. They were school desks. And I was given a phone book and I was told to start at A and keep calling. I think that was probably the most miserable experience of my life. Setting up insurance appointments, right? But if I didn't set 100 appointments, I couldn't be a salesperson. Rough start? Sure. Have we all been there? Yes. Do you have to walk through that active pain? Would that be a good way to describe that, Chris? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, guys, this is our first week that we've talked about sales topics. And I want to invite a different account executive every week to talk about something related to sales to the meeting. But I really want to open it up for Q&A. I know we're only at 11:18, but I'm hoping there's a couple of questions. Let's wait. We got any questions yet, Mia?
No, I was about to tell everyone, if anyone has questions, as usual, drop them in the chat or the Q&A. I'll give you all a few moments to do that. And then maybe Dennis, you can give a teaser on what contractors can expect coming up in the next few weeks about topics.
Oh, so if you guys have noticed, we started from the very beginning about goal setting. And then we talked, like, you guys have lived through 4 weeks of misery for the TF to actually talk about sales, which is what we do for a living, right? There are no questions off the table. Another thing I'd love is for people that come to the webinars to like share their best experience and their worst experience as it relates to the specific topic that week. So today we're talking about gatekeepers. What I'd love to hear is somebody's worst and best experience calling a gatekeeper.
It's a great question, Dennis. While people are maybe thinking, we got a little question here. Do you have any tips? You talked about researching, and coming prepared with your research. Any tips on researching for like specific industries or gatekeepers in specific industries to maybe have more success?
Oh man, that's a great question. Yeah, that's a psychological question. Here we go. So people are attracted to certain industries by what they're most comfortable with. So if I'm calling an insurance company, they're probably going to be a little frigid. If I was calling the comedy zone, they're probably going to be funny, right? what I always do before every demo, and this literally takes me about 3-4 minutes. I always go to the website. I look at their homepage, and I look and see if they have an about us. And I don't really look at the rest of the website. I look at those two things. Who am I going to talk to? What do they do? Because I can glean enough information. And here's a little cheat sheet. I'll always take verbiage out of their website and use it in the initial conversation. That one's golden, Chris.
Yep, you spot on. And again, it goes back to that slide. Get to know who you're calling. Be prepared. Do a little research before you make that initial call.
Awesome, thank you. You all mentioned too the importance of kind of developing that rapport and getting to know someone. But what if you're kind of in a rush? You have to get through a lot of calls. How do you make sure that not only are you getting to know them, having them be warmed up, but you're also being efficient if you have to meet a certain quota? How do you kind of find that balance?
Not everybody would agree with what's about to come out of my mouth. But here's my philosophy about sales. Nothing happens until you have a quality conversation. I would rather talk to one person for 4 hours and leave with a sale as I would hit my goal. And I don't think we have one client on the platform, business person, that would disagree with that statement at the end of the day. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Makes total sense. Thank you. Archant, we love to have you. Welcome back. She asked, if the gatekeeper is finding ways that you can't talk to the person, how do you handle that and sort of following up with them regarding that initial request?
So they kind of half commit to you, but then everybody's always busy. Here's the worst news that we'll ever have as salespeople. Our customer doesn't care about us, our needs, our time, our energy. What they do have is active pain. There's something wrong with their business, which is the reason we hope they need our product or service. So if you're getting a lot of, oh, I'm busy. Oh, I don't have the budget. Oh, if you're getting blown off a lot, you need to be shopping for active pain. You need to figure out what their business issue is, or you'll probably just keep getting blown off. Is that a fair statement, Chris?
Very much so, yeah. And that's across the industry, digging out that pain, because at that point, once you dig out that pain, now you know how to sell to them. Now you know how to get past. Now you've identified that need to be able to get them to go to that next step with you. Absolutely, spot on.
Awesome. Before we move on to our next question, another quick reminder for those who have joined. If you were referred by someone to come today, please chat into the host and panelists at the bottom and tell us who you were referred by. We are offering a bit of an incentive to bring people. So please make sure to do that before we're done today, so we can make sure to reward the people who shared the webinar and all of this great information with their clients.
Somebody's getting $50 out of Dennis's pocket by the time this meeting's over, right?
Yes. So just a reminder, if people joined late, didn't hear, that is how we are going to be tracking that. Next kind of question from Anonymous is, Overpass has a lot of different clients. Do you guys have an idea of how many clients have gatekeepers, if that's even a question? Like how often, contractors applying are going to have to really take these skills into account?
Yeah, the better the client is. On a great client, they're about a 100% chance that they have a gatekeeper. On a small client, you could be talking to the owner. Does that make sense? I'm like, usually the better the company, the more gatekeepers are going to have.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I'll just piggyback on that. So if you look at it as, and a lot of times it has to do with the success of the company too, because then they have a bigger budget. And as they grow, you'll find that what are often called the mom and pop shops that have like two people in the company, and one's the CEO and the other one's the COO, so Chief Executive Officer, Chief Operations Officer. And so as they grow, then obviously their roles get bigger and they don't have time to do everything. So then they hire an assistant, gatekeeper, to filter those calls. So yeah, it's a blessing and a curse to encounter a gatekeeper, because when you encounter a gatekeeper, that, I mean, in most cases, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis, in most cases, they're going to, that means like, okay, this is someone that I need to talk to. This is a company that I'm probably going to want to be working with because they had their act together. They're more of a successful company.
Awesome. This actually is more of a broader question that we kind of get from a lot of contractors. A lot of them have been looking for roles for a while. What do you see as the dominant skills that clients are looking for now that contractors should have? I know a couple of weeks ago we had, how to make your profile optimized for the platform, but what patterns are you seeing in the types of clients that would match up with contractors' skill sets at this time?
Well, I would say Overpass as a company, we're moving gradually toward larger clients, number one. So as the jobs keep rolling out, there's going to be more gatekeepers. Why this meeting is so important, right? I think, I don't know, Chris, if I was going to hire somebody, the first thing I look for is heart. The second thing I look for is attitude. The third thing I look for is passion. And actually the fourth thing I look at is sales skill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me and guys, I've been in many different businesses, organizations, from, a supervisor all the way to a COO of a company. Anytime that I'm looking at bringing somebody onto my team, the first thing, and I think you're going to find that different companies have, each person that's interviewing is looking for, something different, but also the same. And what I mean by that is whenever I was interviewing for a contractor, I wanted to my first thought was, is this somebody that I can personally work with? Just personality wise. Dennis hit the nail on the head. Are they passionate? Are they truly here? Are they in it to win it? Or is this just going to be a job, to them? Somebody that's gonna, in my eyes, are they just gonna ride the clock just to get paid? Or are they really trying to work for me or work for this company, or work with, excuse me, not for, with. So I personally look for, hey, is this someone I can personally work with? Because like Dennis said, I can teach anybody how to sell. That's the skill. That's the technique. But I can't teach somebody how, like Dennis said, to be passionate, or to just, again, going back to the slide, being a good human. I mean, you're either kind of born with that or you're not. So, my opinion is be likable, do everything you possibly can to separate yourself from, any other candidate. If you have trouble doing that, I mean, ask, like, hey, what are some things that we can do? Or, if you don't have the employment background, then win them over with your personality and show them that you truly are there to learn and to help make them and their company successful. So.
Great advice. Thank you. I see Archant raised her hand. So Archant, I'm going to allow you to talk now. You can go ahead and take yourself off mute and ask your question. Oh, you're still on mute, Archant, unless you did not mean to raise your hand. You can go ahead and speak if you would like.
Oh,
and then you went on mute again. Oh no. We
Like
heard you. There we go.
hello. Hey. Hey, good morning. I'm not Archant. I was just referred by Archant to join this group. I'm new to Overpass, so just wanted to get some input from you guys.
Sure. Do you have a question for us?
No, I don't have right now.
Okay, thank you.
All right, great. Well, welcome. We'll be on the lookout for your profile. And if you have already been approved, then thanks so much for joining us. And we hope that you'll find success with us soon.
Thank you.
Any other questions from our participants? It's a little bit of a shorter, though very informative webinar today. So I'll give everyone a few
I
moments.
actually had a follow-up comment that I thought of.
Oh,
off the last
yes.
question you asked. We say this a lot, and then daily we'll look at profiles, and we're looking at your previous work experience. And there'll be like 2 jobs in the profile. If those jobs are closeted into one industry and we don't have a client for that industry that week, you're not going to get an interview. But I've said this once, and I'll probably keep saying it till the day I die, I think, as long as I'm still invited to these meetings. Put every job experience you've ever had, because you may have had an experience in high school that would be relative to that client. And we have no idea that you had that unless you declare it on your profile. That's super important.
Thank you. Any other questions from our attendees? This is actually, I maybe kind of want to take a step back on more of a logistic level. As you can see, we've changed the time. So can we actually get your feedback around what time or day would be best for these? Because as we've mentioned before, this information is very important, very useful, and it's free. And not only you're getting Dennis, you're getting the other, very wonderful AEs from Overpass. So if everyone can either chat in or give us an idea, what day/time would be most optimal, because we want to make sure that when we provide these, they're available to everyone at a most convenient time. So can everyone take a few moments to type in the chat the approximate days or times that would work for you? And I think we may also send out some sort of poll or survey to get a better sense of when would be best to host these as we, settle into our initial few weeks. So if everyone could take a few moments to chat in, and of course, if anyone has other questions, they can ask that as well. But I wanted to pose that. I don't know, Dennis and Chris, if you had other thoughts.
No, that's an amazing thought. Let's see how fast they type.
Yeah, I'll give everyone a few minutes.
Yeah, you bet.
Mia, Dennis, are you okay if I add something to this while everyone's typing up their responses?
Sir.
So guys, for everyone that is very faithful and loyal to coming on to these meetings and these webinars, just like we talked about last week, during the interview, asking questions, and just like today, where we're talking about, have your questions ready to go in advance. This is the perfect time to ask questions. Don't do it after you get off this call and think, oh man, I really wished I would have asked this question because I was afraid that somebody else would, think that it was a stupid question or, whatever. It's not. We want you to be successful. We want you guys to ask now, because this is the right time to ask. It's not, you can ask anytime, but again, this is, I guarantee you the question that you have is, 20 other people have that same question.
So I think we have 2 questions in Q&A that are being teed up, Chris, but I'd like you to talk about your Overpass experience. How did you come to work? How did you and I get to know each other? And how did you come to work?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I kind of mentioned earlier on today. So I was actually a client or one of the employers that we hired Overpass, and I've hired many contractors in a previous role. So after, and so I'm telling you, when I'm telling you the things that I was looking for, hiring contractors, that was spot on. That was very truthful. Leaving, I don't know how much in depth you want me to go, Dennis.
Go, bud. There's no bad answers.
so I came previously I was in the solar industry. So I'm sure a lot of you, or you either have, or you have a friend or family member that has worked in that industry. It's not an easy industry to work in. It can be very grueling. Yeah, so I decided that I was going to step away from that solar industry. And when I did, Dennis and I had been working back and forth. And I mean, we just became friends. I mean, again, we talk about the gatekeepers, making friends, that can go beyond just gatekeepers, right? So Dennis and I, we worked together, we became good friends. And when I left the solar industry, that's when Dennis said, hey, why don't you come, or what are your thoughts about coming to work here at Overpass? And so I don't know if you want me to go into the BDR or the AE position, whatever, but I initially started off as a BDR, business development rep, and then now I'm an account executive. So please take this advice that myself, Mia, Dennis, and anybody else that comes on later in future webinars here, take it to heart. I mean, it's gold. I mean, there's always look at getting gold nuggets from people. I still phrases, I still techniques all the time from people. I mean, and I've been in sales for over 20 years. So I mean, just when you think that you know everything, you meet someone like Dennis, or you went with Mia. I mean, there's always like, just that little shift of, wow, I never really looked at it that way, and then it just opens up a whole nother level that you never thought was possible. So I mean, again, ask the questions now. This is the best time. You have us on live. So
I think we really inspired people because we just got a flood of questions and comments in the chat. So I thank you all for including those. Again, this is the best time to ask. Regarding the time, people feel free to still write in, but it looks like earlier is actually what is winning out, earlier in the day. So this time, a couple people said this time is actually good. One person said the weekend, and a few other people said earlier, like 9, 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm assuming because they're located in the Philippines or other parts of the world that are many hours ahead. So perhaps we can think of pushing this even earlier to encourage that community to join.
Sure.
Thank you all for that feedback, and feel free to continue to write in others who haven't yet responded for the time. So I'm going to go now to our questions. We got a few in here. So Anthony asks, what are examples of good open-ended sales questions? Dennis and Chris, I think we may need a bit more color on what he means by that. Do you mind if he asks that live?
Sure.
Okay, great. Anthony, you're allowed to talk. If you want to go off of mute and ask your question, that would be great.
I think he pulled a Dr. Freeze on us there.
I think he did. Well, maybe Dennis and Chris, you can try to start to answer it, and then I'll ask him to unmute, see if he can unmute. Yeah,
you bet. You talk about open-ended, like a closing question is a finite question, right? You always want to ask questions that are going to invoke an emotion, which is the best one you can do. That's going to invoke an emotion, or that's going to require a critical thinking. So, like I used to have this joke I used to do in my 20s, and I was a director of finance at a car lot. When I saw a customer come in and he looked really problematic, I'd immediately ask him the question, how long do you think a tuna fish sandwich lasts in your top right drawer? They're like, what'd you say? No, I've had this in here for like 3-4 days. Do you think it's still okay to eat? Anthony, that's about the most open-ended question you could ask anybody, I think. It's the best one I've found in my life. Go ahead, Chris. What's your thought there?
I don't have anything to top that, Dennis. You got it, bud. Yeah, you won the trophy on that one.
Awesome. I'm gonna have, I guess maybe he's having some issues, but I will, Anthony, if you want to hop back in and you figured it out, you can come back and unmute, but for now we'll just go back and answer other questions. Cheryl asks, for someone who does not have recent sales experience in the past 5 years, but is passionate about rejoining sales as a contractor on Overpass, what advice would you give?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. When I started with Overpass, I had not worked for anybody else since 1997. For a hot second. It took me a while to get back in the groove, and I actually had to start like going to LinkedIn and listen to people's recordings and read books I hadn't read in like 20 years, I swear, in years, right? But I actually had to go back and retrain myself to get my head right into a sales position. Does that make sense, Cheryl? I had to remember old habits I'd forgotten. I think that's a pretty good answer.
Awesome. Cool. I would say from the Overpass kind of TA point of view, we usually talk to people, even if they haven't had like experience in a while, just to see if their interest, as Dennis mentioned, because, you know, that is something that is extremely important. So don't worry if that is the case. We do talk to you. We do get an idea of where you're at and what you're looking for as well.
Yeah.
I'm probably pronouncing this name wrong, but Jorlin asks, would it be okay to apply even if the job ad says that they're looking for someone who has English as their first language? Also, would it be okay to try even if they prefer someone with relevant experience? Say like they prefer someone with computer software experience, but I think I can do the job. Should I still submit an application?
Yeah, of course. But then I'm going to answer the question truthfully. It is extremely rare that we ever look at who applied for a job, guys. We usually look in the talent acquisition dashboard, which is a little filter thing we have on the backside of Overpass. Could you explain to them how that works, Mia? Because that's the tool we all use every day, day in, day out.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. So basically our team has a dashboard that shows everyone who has a profile Overpass, from those who haven't finished one to those who are in the process of being approved to those who are approved, which are live. The sales team, once they have an understanding of what the client needs, they will go in and they're able to filter the contractors by a bunch of different filters: industry, what their hourly rate is, their interest, which is why the status, ready to work, considering opportunities, so important. If that is not your status, sales is not looking at you. So that is explained during our training, how to change that if you need it, but plug there. So their sales team is able to look at contractors that way by filtering. So as we mentioned during our profile episode, that is why your profile is so important, because that is what the sales team is looking at when they're deciding which contractors they would like to push forward to clients. Did I miss anything, Dennis?
No, we'll actually look at an applicant if we can't find a good fit for the client. But that's usually our plan B, not our plan A. Our plan A is always to go to the TA dashboard, and we're literally just doing like a database filter. So it's kind of generic and cold, but it works really well. I mean, I don't know how much money we have invested in that system, but
a lot.
It's at least more than 20 pesos. I don't know. I'm not sure, but.
Great. Thank you. The next question is from Raphael. He asked, what could be responsible for a contractor who, after a period of 3 months on Overpass, is yet to be hired? I think there's a lot of different answers to that question, but I will let Dennis and Chris take the first crack at it.
I'll let you take the first crack at it while I look up his profile. Is that fair?
Sure.
I have no idea how to answer that question without going into the talent acquisition dashboard.
Yeah, I would say, as was mentioned multiple times, your profile is the most important part of your Overpass experience. So do you have your most relevant sales experience in the first top few roles. Are you descriptive in that experience? Did you really explain what you did using action verbs, being as descriptive as possible? Did you include quotas? Very important. Clients like to see what your actual results were while you were in that role. And more fundamentally, is your grammar, spelling, language all correct? As that is important to understand how you would be. Is your voice recording very solid? This is the first time clients will hear you and hear how you would be over the phone, which is 99% of the roles here. So make sure your voice recording is as crisp and perfect as possible. You can redo it as many times as you want. Availability is important. It doesn't help you if you only put I'm only available for 2 hours each day. We do ask that you put all of your availability so that you can be eligible for more roles. Another important part is the hourly rate. We are a competitive platform, and generally between $10 and $20 an hour based on both your experience and what the role is asking is very important. And then lastly, having a professional profile picture. I've heard the AEs mention that if someone doesn't look right on the profile picture, sometimes we'll scroll right past them. So that is another important element of the profile.
What was Raphael's last name? Sorry to interject. What was Raphael's last name?
Yeah, Raphael, could you chat in and give us your last name and email so that we can more easily find you on the dashboard? That would be great. So we can give you more personalized advice. If you feel, Raphael, that you've done all of this, please chat in to the Overpass website. You can schedule time with one of our TAs to spend 30 minutes just discussing your whole profile. And, sometimes if we deem that, hey, this is an excellent profile, maybe sales wasn't able to find it, we can put a profile in front of the sales team if, we deem that you would be a potential good fit for clients. Whew, a lot of talking. That is all I have to offer. Raphael, if you have any other follow-ups, just chat in. And again, please give us your last name and email so we can more easily find you and give you a bit of a better picture. But until then, we're going to actually go to the next question after Dennis and Chris answer.
Go ahead and go to the next question.
Okay, great.
No, I'm just waiting for his last name. I can't comment unless I can see his profile.
Yes. Oh, Drorlin says she would want to. Okay, perfect. Yes, I got your message, Drorlin. Thank you. I will go ahead and email you after this. Let me make a note. Perfect. Very interesting. The next question, this is more of a technical question, Pearl, not being able to confirm your email address. Our tech team is better equipped to respond to that. So if you just go to overpass.com and chat in and let them know you're not able to confirm your email address, they can help you right away. So I would go ahead and do that. And then we have information from Raphael Dennis. So his last name is Odok, O-D-O-K, and then his email, I can just put it in the chat, unless you can see it in the Q&A, Dennis.
I'm in the TA dashboard, but
yeah,
better by email. Is it PH or F?
PH. It's R-A-P-H-A-E-L and then Odok, O-D as in dog, O-K.
There was my mistake.
There we go.
Got it. Coming in.
Cool.
Let's do this so we don't waste any more meeting time. Why don't you give Raphael my personal or my Overpass email?
Okay.
And have him book time on my calendar.
Okay.
And I'll talk him through how to improve the profile or give him any advice or suggestions that would work. Make sense?
Perfect. Yeah. I went ahead and made a note so we can get that done.
Yeah. I was just going to piggyback Mia on something you just said, because you really, again, you hit the nail on the head. If your profile pic is you having like a drink or a beer or something like that, or, it's a party pic, or it's with a, just, again, it's first impressions, so before anybody even gets you on the phone to see how you are, I mean, you can easily be passed up if you don't look like you're really serious, or you look like you could be a potential quote unquote problem. I mean, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be in like a a suit or anything like that, but just something that's professional, something that, you know, shows them, you know, in their mind, you know, that initially they don't think that you're going to be a liability to their company. So that's just like, I mean, just like dating, again, go back to dating, you know, that first impression, you know, when you first meet that person face to face, you know, you're profiling. I mean, you're looking up and down, you're like, okay, like I see what I without even, you know, seeing that, you know, hearing that first word, it's like you kind of, you know, potentially have an idea of what this person is about before you even have that initial
Raphael,
conversation.
just so you know, I haven't even listened to your recording, but the reason you haven't been called is your hours of availability. Keep in mind that all our clients are in the US and Canada, and you could post a time that works the best from you from Nigeria, but nobody's going to call you to work from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Thank you, Dennis. See,
Best
guys,
advice I can get.
this is why you need to tell your friends you're not going to get this sort of personalized information anywhere else. I'm going to say it again. Thank you, Dennis. So Raphael, yes, again, availability, very important. We do recognize that our contractors are international, but our clients are based US. So be cognizant of that as you're putting in your availability. So, okay, perfect. I'm trying to think, like, you got another question.
There's one from Anthony.
Yeah, from Anthony. He wants, can we judge his profile live? I don't know if we want to make a habit of this, team. I think we can definitely follow up with people, but I don't know if we want to do it live on air. But Dennis and Chris, you let me know if you feel that that would be a helpful exercise.
Why don't we do that again next week? We've talked about, you can go back and look at the YouTube video.
Yes.
But
yeah.
Let's just ask the question. Would that be of value to everybody if we did that next week?
Yeah, let's do another poll. Is it helpful if we go through actual contractors' profiles live?
Yeah, if they don't mind,
yeah,
because we're going to share the screen and critique the profile. So as long as they have thick skin, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, no, we definitely can. How would everyone feel about that? You can kind of do a thumbs up or whatever in the chat. Would that be a helpful exercise? Okay, so you're saying that would be great. Yeah, maybe we can make that a part of like a little bonus part of the series is have your profile get picked apart to see. Okay, great. Amazing. All right. So we're getting really good feedback there. So if you all next time,
let's do that. Let's do that next week. Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely do that next week. If anyone wants to come and volunteer to have their profile looked at, we can definitely do it and make that kind of a part of our cadence going forward. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Hey, no problem at all. I just wanted to comment because I'm finally catching up on the chat messages here that Ken made a point. Remember, when you steal from me, it's been stolen twice. So I think he was referring to how, you know, you steal gold nuggets from different people. Absolutely. And if it's not twice, it's 1,000 times, because I mean, as salespeople, I mean, we're always looking for new and creative ways to say something or even restate something. So absolutely spot on, Ken. Love it. Love it.
Amazing. Shout out to Ken. We actually had a nice exchange via email where he was like, oh, we've been promoting it. Our TAs have been promoting it. So he actually just spoke with one of our TAs not too long ago and emailed me about this webinar. So he said, you have to come. Dennis is great. And I didn't know Chris was on, another special guest. So it was wonderful. Nice. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate that. I try. All right, team, let's see. We can leave the last 5 minutes to see if anyone has other questions. While people are typing, just want to say, we know this was kind of a big time change from last time, but glad that it seems that we're moving in the right direction with when people would like to see these happen. So it sounds like we can push it even earlier, but we will be doing a poll probably in our Facebook group to get a sense of when people are available and potentially change the time. So we will let you all know that in advance of next week. Again, per usual, you will have a recording of this video as well as a copy of the materials in the next couple of days as a thank you. And the winner of the most referred will be seeing their payment in the next few days. I just have to
Oh, you got a winner?
yeah, I think it was Samuel Jean. I think he had 4.
All right, just
Or 3.
slack me over his PayPal account.
Yeah. So again, we were serious when we said there was an incentive. So next time everyone needs to bring people because this is very important. So I'm going to.
Samuel, you won't get paid in 4 days. You get paid in like 15 minutes or at least 3 minutes after Mia sends me your email address or PayPal account. Fair.
Or Samuel, if it's easier, so I don't have to look it up. If you want to chat in your PayPal email, that would be great. Just so I, to get it to you even quicker. So if you want to chat in and then in the last few minutes, we can go ahead and get that going. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate it. Awesome. Yeah, Sam, go ahead and send it now. We do have a few minutes if you want to just put in your PayPal email. Actually, wait. Is it bad to have your PayPal email out there? You know what? Actually, it may not be good to chat it. Samuel, I'll find it. Don't put it in the chat. And we'll get that over to you after the call. I apologize. Thanks.
Better.
That's
Way
better. Privacy. Awesome. All right. So I think we're good to go for today, everyone. Thank you all for your participation. Thanks to Chris for giving us a great presentation on the Gatekeeper. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. Time to be determined, either this time or a bit earlier based on your feedback. So thank you all again and have a great rest of your evenings and days. Thanks.
Awesome. Bye, guys.